All right, welcome to the second module here. We're going to be talking about mailing and marketing. A couple sort of high level things in terms of marketing and mailing versus what you might be used to through the LPG method. First of all, there are no minimums if you are using our mailing platform. So I want to be very clear about that. Whether you're sending one-off letters to 50,000 letters, there are no minimums. You pay for what you send. We will also not charge you for things like if you ever marked it as a do not mail on a specific owner and their address. So we'll avoid those things. Now, the timeline, I want to make sure that I'm very clear about this. The timeline to mailing things out. So how it works is the moment you click basically activate on a mailing campaign or any document, it gets what we call processed around the middle of the night. It'll get printed the next business day. So again, if you, let's say, for example, you hit activate on a Monday, it'll get printed on the Tuesday, and then it's in the hands of USPS on the Wednesday. Now, there are times when things can get shifted by one day. Typically, we see at most it would take 3 days to be in the hands of USPS, 3 business days. So I want to be clear about that. So typically, when you hit that activate button, about 2 or 3 business days later, it's going to be in the hands of USPS. Another big thing about our mailing, I'm just going to focus on mailing here a little bit, is you have full control. So if I got a 50,000 mailing campaign ready to mail out, and I can do a daily drip of 100 a day, 100 a day, 100 a day, at any time, even midway through that campaign, I can stop it. I can change the letter template halfway. You have full control of that. I did mention also getting out one-off documents. We'll take care of that as well. Now, Pebble isn't just a mailing platform only. So if you are running cold calling, great. You know, one of the biggest cold calling services for land investors like Landcaller dot, I think it's called Landcallers. They have a way to submit their leads into Pebble easily. If you're using call answering services, great. That's easy to get into Pebble. If you are doing mass texting or ringless voicemail, whatever kind of marketing you are doing, you still want to create a campaign and track the performance because then we know what is working. Your response rates are going to get calculated. Then you're going to be able to actually optimize on your marketing efforts. I'll show you what a campaign looks like here. We'll just jump right in and create a campaign and we'll sort of walk you through what that looks like. So we're going to land right into the campaign screen here. So the campaign screen here, each one of these white boxes represents a single campaign. Now you can group a campaign by, I don't know, a mail date or a county that you're working out of or the method of marketing. So you might have one just for mailing Santa Fe County or cold calling Santa Fe County. You're going to create a campaign first. Okay, you're going to bring that list in first. If you're cold calling, bring it in first, then send the list over to your cold calling service. Or you can literally go in here and click and cold call within Pebble as well. But yeah, you're always going to create a campaign. And by the way, you can run multiple campaigns at once. So you do 10 campaigns at once. There's no problem with that. Okay. So to create a campaign, all you need to do, I'm going to walk you through right now. You're going to hit add campaign, give this a name. Let's call this the LPG campaign. We're going to actually use the mailing functionality inside of Pebble. If you're doing some kind of phone campaign, you want to enter phone. The only difference is the information required. With direct mailing campaigns, we require the mailing address. You don't have to mail through us, but to bring it in, we do want that mailing address so you can track those. And then with a phone campaign, you just need a phone number. You don't need the address. Okay, so I'm going to hit direct mail here. I'm going to choose a county. One of my favorite counties here. Don't know why. Don't ask me why. But I'm going to find my list here and drag and drop it right into here. Now, keep in mind, your list is going to just be a CSV file, okay? Now, I think one big thing here, so I'm looking for the CSV and it just needs to be in a raw CSV file, and I did nothing to this list. There we go. All right, so a few things about pulling your own list. There are a lot of services out there, and we encourage you. We deliberately didn't tie into one list provider because some people believe in using the county record. Some people want the tax delinquent list, or some people want to get it from a specific provider. Um, Figure out where you want to get your list from. And here's a couple places you can get your list from. There's a data tree, which is a list provider that you guys are familiar with. You still have to pay for those records. Um, there's something called PropStream, really popular with house wholesalers, but also with land investors now. Um, One of my favorites was Property Radar. They're very, very competitive in pricing, and you can even get emails and social profiles and even phone numbers from them. There's Price, which is actually a reseller of DataTree, and they actually do the pricing with an algorithm that they scrape and calculate the comps in the area. So they actually do pricing for you. There's also a new one here recently called the Land Portal. There's a ton out there. So you'll want to first figure out what service you want. You can hop on a call with one of these services. It's very easy to get access. And each one of these services are going to have different ways they're going to allow you to slice and filter out certain properties that you're looking for. Okay,
Mhm.
so once you get your list, you're just going to drag it in as a CSV. You don't need to remove columns. If there are properties you want to remove, then you want to remove them ahead of time before you bring them in, but you can always remove them inside of here. All right, so we're just going to hit upload here. On this next stage, all we're doing is aligning the column headers of your spreadsheet. You can see these are all your different column headers to what we call our property fields, which I showed you a little bit earlier. The ones that are required are the ones here at the top, which says required fields, and they've all been matched. Now, the bottom here are not the required fields. These are optional. So I'm bringing in the lot acreage, the latitude, longitude. Um, I actually created a price. So I went in and actually priced every property here that I want to offer because I'm gonna, I'm gonna follow up with an offer here as well. Now, I have something called a price secondary. You probably don't know about this yet. For a lot of you coming out of LPG, that's if you're doing a ranged offer. Again, like you should have that ability to experiment what works. Like a lot of times we hear lot of these larger properties, you're gonna have more success with a ranged offer versus just a neutral or a blind offer, right? Great. So this looks good. I can also bring in more. You remember those property fields I showed you earlier in module one? They're all here. I can bring in any column headers right into that property field. Kevin, anything I'm missing here? Pretty straightforward.
One thing to note is that Pebble is very smart about remembering what you've done in the past. So if this looks daunting to match up all these property fields, just know you only have to do that the first time. The next time you bring in a list, Pebble will remember and make sure that it pre-matches those items. So
Yeah, great
you don't
point.
have
Thanks for
to
reminding me
do
that.
that every
Yeah,
time.
awesome. Okay, so like I said, even if you're doing a mailing campaign out of Pebble, outside of Pebble, not using our functionality, or you're doing cold calling, you still want to bring this in because as soon as those leads come in, you want your property record to be available for you to pull up immediately. Okay, campaigns is where we bring in our properties, and when I say campaigns, it's your outbound marketing. Okay, it doesn't matter what channel you're taking to market towards these properties. All right, I'm going to go ahead and import list. It's going to do a live scan of it. Just make sure everything is there. I know on this list, I'm actually missing a couple rows. I don't care. It's only one or two properties that doesn't have an address. I'm just simply not going to bring it in. Now, I have a problem here. Um, I matched the owner phone number with a completely wrong uh, column. So I'm going to review it. I'm just going to remove it. I actually don't have that. So I'm just going to go change columns and retry here. Under phone here, I totally got the wrong column. I'm just going to actually remove that. I don't have the phone number, so that was from a previous list that it remembered. Okay, I am good to go here. And all I need to do now is just hit view campaign. And so this is what a campaign looks like. I can leave it at this point. I don't need to do anything else if I'm not going to mail through Pebble, right? I could, if I had a phone number, you would see the phone icon. I could text, I could call them from here by clicking on there. But in this case, I'm actually going to mail with Pebble. Now, just a couple things to show you. Every white box here is an individualized owner, and their property is in the gray box here with their APN. We've also assigned what we call a campaign record code. So this code is associated with the actual marketing piece. So if I'm doing a mailer, I'm going to actually put this code on the mailer. Now, we do not code on the property level. We take a step further. We code on the actual marketing piece. This code can tell us what letter went out, when it went out, and what property it belongs to. Why do we do that? Well, when we're mailing a list 3, 4 times across a year, we want to know which one got us that lead. Was it the second mailer? Was it the third one? Was it the fourth one? Remember, data allows us to make decisions. And without that information, we're just going in blind and we're just going to trust one template. We'll never be able to actually optimize. And that's why we went ahead and actually codified every single piece. Okay. You can see here under Joe Brooks, it says do not mail. In the past mailing, we marked him as do not mail. He screamed at us, right? So any future campaigns we have Joe Brooks, it's just going to skip right through that. You're not going to pay for it. I don't have an example here. It'd be kind of cool to show you guys, but if Pebble detects that Mark Starr here had 3 parcels on this list, it's going to group all of them together. And if you're doing something what we call like a blind offer, which I do know some LPG students do blind offers, it's actually going to total the offer here for you. Right now, there's only a single offer. Sorry, just the one offer here of the one property. All right, so to activate this campaign, all I need to do is hit activate campaign. You're going to choose a letter template. We're going to quickly go over how do we edit a letter template after this. But we'll go ahead and hit select on a letter template. I hit select. It's going to ask me for the return address. I can have multiple return addresses. It's going to give me a proof with the first row's data set on there. I can verify this looks good. I'll hit next. It's going to do an estimated cost for me here, and I will pay for this campaign right after this. So I can send out however many I'd like. So maybe I want to do 100 a day. I can change this at any time. I can choose the mail type, whether it's standard or first class, the print type, whether it's black and white or double sided or not. I'll go ahead and hit save. At this point, I've got a zero balance in my account, so I want to pay towards this campaign. I'm going to pay the full amount. I can select the credit card, and all I have to do is hit pay here. Okay, and then that's going to start running the campaign. Tonight, it's going to start doing its first 100 out by tonight. Let's now jump into talking about customizing your documents inside of Pebble. So you could see earlier, I selected the neutral letter. Our templates all live in an area called settings here. All right, so under settings here, we can see all the templates in my account. If I wanted to grab another template from the master Pebble library, all I have to do is hit this button here that says add mail template and find a template that I like and add it to my own personal template library. I'll go ahead and hit add template. Great. Now this has been added to my template. Now I maybe want to rename this. Okay. And this one's pretty cool. It's got like an eagle check here. And you see this is our full-on document editor. So a few things here. Anywhere that is highlighted in blue is our dynamic fields here. That means this information will change. So this will have the actual seller's address here. This will have the seller's name here. Anywhere that says your name and it's not highlighted, you actually have to type in your name. So I'll type in my name here and you can see it. I'm just directly editing my random company on here. And yeah, I just need to edit this. And once my template is good, I'll hit save and select this template to go out with my campaign. Kevin,
Just to
anything?
clarify, those what we call placeholders, which are the items in blue there with the
Right.
double curly brackets, that information will get replaced for each record in your campaign. So, like we saw that Mark Starr record at the top of the campaign. When his letter goes out, that seller name will be replaced with Mark Starr.
The placeholders are really important. So like if I wanted to find my placeholder, let's just say my name is Jesse Kwong with my land company and we want to pretend we're in the same county as their property and what we'll do is we'll come to add placeholder here. We'll go to the property section here and we'll actually choose the county name. So it'll say, my name is Jesse Kwong with my land company in Cochise, and then we'll type the word county here. And so it's a little bit more personalized, right? So you're going to be able to find all of that here. Okay, we've got a lot of cool templates. I mean, there's a template here. I'm going to bring you back. I'm just going to save this for now. I just want to show you there's some really cool stuff we can do here. And I don't know if it exists, but let's say we wanted to do a a letter here and we have a full window here, we can actually show their property and print that out. In fact, Pebble can actually pull the satellite image of every single property record you're mailing out to. There's no extra charge on this, and we can print that as well. And that gets automatically printed. You don't need to do anything. You just need to use the satellite image placeholder for that. It's great for things like doing neighbor letters as well. So here's a neighbor letter if you want to get the satellite image, not the actual image of the property. This one's an actual image of a property, but you could replace this with a satellite image of the property and say, hey, we've got land for sale. So you can do things like neighbor letters as well. And so there are a ton of templates here you can explore inside of Pebble. We believe in giving you the space to, again, optimize and try different things, especially coming out of the LPG program. Thousands and thousands of you guys are using the exact template. I've had guests on the podcast who have talked about the fact that they've owned property with the same letters coming to them. So take the time to customize your document. And if you do not want to do it yourself, you can always hire somebody on someone like Upwork. You can look for somebody who knows Pebble. There are people there who know Pebble now, or somebody who just knows how to use a text editor. They should be able to create one for you. All right. Well, that wraps up this module, all on mailing and marketing within Pebble. We're going to go to the next module and we're going to talk about now communications because you've gotten your outbound marketing out. You're now going to get communications in, and we'll cover that in the next module here.